Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. 4 reasons why Thomas Forrester must return, even as a recast. The bold and the beautiful B and V. Spoilers reveal that there are 4 reasons why Thomas Forrester, last played by Matthew Atkinson, must return, even if it means recasting the role. Thomas is needed on canvas, so let's discuss why he should come back in some form. For starters, Thomas and Paris Buckingham, Diamond White, are planning a wedding that still hasn't happened yet. B&B left that part of the story dangling, so Thomas either needs to marry Paris or end up heartbroken after a failed engagement. We vote for the latter option since it would free Thomas up for other love interest possibilities. Maybe even a familiar one depending on how the rest of this storyline with Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, plays out. 2. Hope is about to be in mourning. If B&B is genuinely rushing Liam into the grave, then Hope Logan, Annika Noel, is about to be in mourning. It makes sense for Thomas to bring Douglas Forrester, Henry Samiri, back to Los Angeles for some family time with his mom. Thomas may also want to comfort Hope, which could potentially lead to another romantic chapter together. If Thomas returns single following a Paris breakup, that could make it even easier for him to reconnect with Hope as she grieves. 3. Steffi needs her brother's support. Of course, Steffi Forrester, Jacqueline Metzinswood, could use her brother's support when it comes to dealing with Liam's fatal outcome and the inevitable next round of Luminozoa, Lisa Yamada, mayhem. Thomas and Steffi have a strong bond, so it'd be nice to see that connection featured on screen again. 4. Taylor and Ridge could have a remarriage ceremony ahead. Plus, engagement hints have been dropping for Taylor Hayes, Rebecca Buddick, and Ridge Forrester, Thorsten Kaye. Eric Forrester, Jonah Cook, basically acted like Ridge hadn't made much of a commitment to Taylor since he hadn't put a ring on it. Ridge may take that as a challenge at some point and pop the question to Taylor. That could set the stage for Taylor and Ridge to tie the knot once more, so it'd be great if Thomas could be at the wedding. If Ridge and Taylor have a remarriage ceremony ahead of them, let's hope that maybe Thomas can be at the celebration. Even if Matthew Atkinson doesn't return to the role, Thomas is an important character who's been recast multiple times. The show could eventually give another actor a chance to shine in the part, so stick with us for updates on any major casting news. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Thomas' future could be bright if he makes a Los Angeles comeback, so stay tuned. In the world of soap operas, characters are more than just players on a set. Their legacy, intrigue, and emotional resonance wrapped in dramatic storytelling. Few characters on The Bold and the Beautiful carry as much weight as Thomas Forrester, heir to the prestigious Forrester dynasty, artistic visionary, and complicated anti-hero. Although fans have seen actors come and go in the role, and recent shakeups suggest a lingering absence, it's time for the show to bring Thomas Forrester back into the spotlight, even if that means recasting the role. Here are 4 compelling reasons why Thomas Forrester's return is not just wanted, it's necessary. 1. The Forrester legacy needs its next generation leader. Let's be honest, without Thomas, the Forrester family feels like it's missing a vital piece of its heart and its edge. As Ridge Forrester's son, Thomas was raised in the world of fashion and power. He inherited not only his father's design talents, but also his tendency for romantic entanglements and a flair for dramatic flair. In a world where legacy matters, Thomas represents the bridge between the old and the new. Steffi has held the fort as a Forrester powerhouse, but the family dynasty needs balance. Thomas provides a masculine counterpoint to her leadership and an emotional tether to Ridge's legacy. While Hope Logan and Brooke Spencer continue to influence the direction of Forrester creations, there's a gaping hole where Thomas should be. A creative visionary, a risk-taker, a man willing to step into morally gray territory to protect the ones he loves. A recast doesn't have to be a setback. In fact, it's an opportunity. A new actor could bring fresh energy and subtle reinvention, while still paying homage to Thomas's complex past. Whether brooding and intense or coolly calculating, the right performer could make Thomas feel not just necessary, but revolutionary. Have been built on less than what Thomas and Hope share. Unspoken attraction, tangled past, and unfinished business. Whether you're a Thope shipper or someone who prefers her with Liam, there's no denying that Thomas and Hope had chemistry, an electric tension born of obsession, redemption, and unexpected vulnerability. Hope's story without Thomas has started to feel directionless. Her recent arcs have often orbited Liam's familiar indecision or Ridge and Brooke's never-ending melodrama. But with Thomas, she had purpose. She was challenged. She was forced to confront her own moral high ground and what it really means to forgive someone or fall for them in spite of everything. Bringing Thomas back would reintroduce romantic stakes that feel alive. Is Hope truly over him, or is she afraid of what he still represents? A path she tried to walk down but never finished. Is Thomas still the man who lost himself in obsession? Or has he grown enough to be worthy of her love? These are questions that deserve answers, and Thomas's presence is the only way to explore them meaningfully. 3. Douglas deserves his father, and a compelling family dynamic. At the center of Thomas's emotional evolution lies one little boy, Douglas Forrester. More than a plot device, Douglas has often been the conscience of the show. A sweet, emotionally perceptive child who saw the best in his father, even when no one else could. Thomas's journey as a parent was messy, tragic, and at times villainous. But it was real. Watching him try to rebuild his relationship with Douglas was some of the most layered storytelling the show has offered in years. It humanized him and made viewers want him to succeed, not as a manipulative designer or a romantic wild card, but as a man trying to earn back the trust of his son. Without Thomas, Douglas has been reduced to a minor supporting character, shuffled between relatives like a prop. A return would reignite a much-needed father-son arc. Imagine a new Thomas trying to rebuild not just his image, but his family. Picture the poignant moments, the struggle for redemption, and the quiet victories of fatherhood. That kind of emotional storytelling is gold for a show built on heartache and hope. And let's not forget the visual symmetry. Thomas back at Forrester Creations, sketching with Douglas at his side, both of them trying to navigate the world while carrying the Forrester name. It's poetic, it's powerful, and it's overdue. 4. The show needs a wild card, and Thomas is it. Every soap needs its wild card. The character who keeps everyone on their toes, who isn't afraid to push boundaries or make morally complex choices that ripple through the entire canvas. Thomas is that character. Not quite villain, not quite hero. He lives in the in-between, and that's what makes him so riveting. With other villains either softened, like Sheila Carter, who has weirdly become part of the main cast's twisted family circle, or written off, the bold and the beautiful need someone to stir the pot again. Someone unpredictable. Someone whose motives aren't always clear, but whose presence forces others to react in ways that reveal their true selves. Whether he returns as a reformed man or someone grappling with old impulses, Thomas has the potential to generate massive story momentum. His past misdeeds, the mannequin saga, anyone, give him a darkness to wrestle with, but also endless opportunities for growth, conflict, and yes, drama. Even recast, Thomas could be the show's agent of chaos, injecting passion, competition, and intensity wherever he goes. Maybe he falls for someone unexpected. Maybe he launches a rival fashion line. Maybe he becomes a voice of reason, just long enough to shock us when he inevitably slips. That kind of character keeps things interesting. Final thoughts. Bring back Thomas, for real this time. Thomas Forrester's absence is more than a missing character. It's a missing heartbeat in the show's rhythm. He's the son, the father, the lover, and the fire starter. His presence brings emotional stakes, family tension, and the promise of redemption. Recasting the role isn't a compromise. It's a chance to breathe new life into a story fans have invested in for over a decade. It's time to embrace the next chapter. The Bold and the Beautiful deserves its Prince of Passion back. Recast him, rewrite him, redeem him, but most of all, return him. Stay tuned for more spoilers, shakeups, and surprises, because in the world of the Forresters, nothing stays beautiful forever, but it's always bold.